Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna give my thoughts on Call of Duty World War II beta. I played this for 2 weekends. I think I got to like rank 20 on PS4 and I'm rank 35 on Xbox currently. I'll probably get to rank 40 by the end of the day because I think they're gonna push the level cap to 40. But basically I played the game a ton. I think, you know, level 20 on PS4 last weekend, that's a good few hours. That's probably at least like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 hours into the game. This weekend I must have played for like near 24 hours. It's ridiculous, but I did say I was going to no-life the game, so yeah. On the PS4 beta I thought the game was bad. Basically, like there's no other way to say it. I thought the game was bad on the PS4. Like I couldn't do well with anything. Like that 110 kill streak with the Winchester that I put up was literally like my only good game. So I just couldn't do well. One of them I think is just because I couldn't jump shot and like drop shot. I'm so used to having paddles or like stick and move and that sort of thing. Because I don't even need paddles to like do well in the advanced movement games. Like I can just use stick and move, which is when you press in the analog stick and it like jumps for you. But I just couldn't do well. I think that might have been one of the reasons why. But obviously this weekend Xbox and PS4 beta, so I was on Xbox because that's my main console, playing with friends and everything. I think the game has moved from being bad to not good and not bad at the start of this weekend, and now it's kind of decent. I don't think it's amazing, but I also don't think it's bad. So yeah, it's kind of in between somewhere. I know some people love the game, but you know, I quite like the advanced movement games. Kind of. I like the game, but I think it's got a lot of ways to go before it's like shop ready and that sort of thing. But some of the main things I'm going to go over here, and I've got a list of things. So the main thing that sticks out to me, one of the main things, is gun balance. The game is dominated by SMGs and ARs. Like in the kill feed you'll probably see PPSH, maybe Type 100, maybe the Tommy gun, maybe the Grease gun, and the STG. You won't see like any other guns. I've seen, last night I saw the meta change for the game. Like the most popular guns change from the PPSH to the STG to like Type 100, all in like a night. Like the lobbies just completely changed like overnight, which was incredible. But that's like a year's worth of meta change in like a few hours. Yeah, the gun balance is pretty bad actually. The SMGs are good. Basically, the Grease gun has a really good 3-shot kill range. The PPSH is really fast, has a decent amount of recoil, but it absolutely melts people if you're like really up close. So I'm not entirely sure the PPSH class is overpowered, but it's very strong. The Tommy gun I really like. The WWII I also really like, or Discount Trencher from Warfare, which technically the Trencher is Discount WWII, but it doesn't matter. The Type 100 is also really good, but then you've got the STG and AR category, and that's it. The M1's good, I think. I can't do well with it, but I think that's just because I can't aim. So yeah. But the weapon balance doesn't seem very good. Like there's no reason to use LMGs. Like there's literally zero reason to use LMGs. The pistols don't seem very strong either. The machine pistol seems pretty good. The only ones that they're being given is 10 bullets, but it seems decent. But yeah, gun balance is a way to go. I think SMGs are too powerful in some aspects. I think it's just too powerful with SMGs. The LMGs you move way too slow with, I think. I understand there is a way to play with LMGs, so you can like run around and, well not run around, but you can like sort of semi-camp and play defensively, but there's not really any reason to use LMGs bar like that playstyle. So yeah. My second point would be that the spawns are way too sticky. Like it's not even just that, the spawns are massive on the maps as well. If you look at the likes of Aaken's a really good example of this. Basically, it will take the entire enemy team to be in your spawn in order for the spawns to flip, and they literally have to all be in your spawn because the spawns in that map, if you cut out the middle portion of the map and just stick together both spawns, it's bigger than the middle portion of the map. It's ridiculous. Like on the likes of the most recent CoDs, even Ghosts or whatever, I happen to play like Black Ops 2 or whatever, but you know, the likes of like CoD 4 and you know, other Call of Duty games, the spawns are like non-existent. You know, like the spawns are part of the map. There isn't a massive bit at the back of each spawn for you to spawn into. That's a big problem with this game, I think. And that sort of thing, I think, kind of promotes camping in a sense as well, which is another point I've got. But the spawns, I think, are way too sticky, and they have way too big spawns. The one Other example of this would be Gibraltar, and the point to hawk doesn't really suffer from this. Point to hawk doesn't really have spawns, to be fair, but it doesn't have these massive big spawns to like spawn in, and spawns just flip. So point to hawk I don't have any problems with. However, Gibraltar, which I've dubbed Gibraltar because it's the most played game mode, most played map, and I get tired of it. The spawns are massive. The spawns are literally like more than half a map. It's ridiculous. I don't understand the point of that. I don't know why they keep doing this, but they just do. But yeah, the spawns are way too sticky. It takes way too long to flip. One big offender of this would be Ardennes Forest. In fact, this would be the worst one. You can literally get spawn killed. Someone could have an LMG bipod mounted and just shoot into your spawn, I reckon, and you would just die instantly. There's no point in having that spawn that sticky. And I think it is just because it's too big. Like, I don't think it's the fact that the spawns are like really stubborn. I don't think they coded into the game to make the spawns not able to flip. I think the spawns are so big that there's so many places you can spawn in each spawn that it's just like they don't flip. But those are the two main issues with this game, in my opinion. Another point is that it kind of encourages camping. The game kind of does. From the sprint out time, which they fixed thankfully, which this not really is a point anymore, but prior to today, or prior to yesterday, it was a thing where sprint out time kind of encouraged camping and just walking around the places that are running. The health regen, I reckon as well, is way too slow. You'll often find someone might get into a gunfight and then whoever wins will go into a corner and wait for their health to regen, which makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense that your health regen that slowly compared to like the most recent CoDs. And I understand this game's coming straight after 3 games in a row of jetpacks and that sort of thing, and obviously those are faster paced games, and I know they're trying to like slow down the pace, I suppose, but that's not a way to do it. I don't think, like, that's just, it's not that big a deal. However, I do think that it just kind of slows the game down. And then I feel like the base sprint speed is too slow. This isn't a big thing, this doesn't matter like that much, but I feel like if you're using something other than the airborne division, the faster sprint, like sprinting feels really slow. But that might just be me, but that's just something I have to say. The other thing is divisions. They replaced the pick 10/pick 13 system with divisions, which I'm not really sure why they did that. I understand the whole division thing, where like you choose a division, it's meant to replicate kind of divisions in like the army and sort of thing. I understand that, but I don't really understand why they removed the perk system and just added in divisions and basic training. The system isn't bad per se, it isn't like terrible, but I think in this game it is basically impossible to be able to have a suppressor and ghost on your class. You can either have a suppressor on your SMG or you can have ghost, because airborne is to put suppressors on your SMGs, and you also have to have mountain division in order to use ghost, so you can have one or the other, which I don't really like. I think one way, which Exclusivist I believe has suggested this, and a few other people might have suggested this as well, but basically I don't know where he's gone from. But the idea, I think, was that you would have your divisions, which you can level up. You would have your basic training, which you can just pick like a normal perk, which is what they have currently. But you would also have another thing where you could select a piece of training from a different division, so you could have airborne with max level, being with like extra, like, you know, faster sprint, faster recovery from sprinting, climbing over obstacles quicker, having a suppressor on your gun, but you could also choose the likes of the ghost type perk from the mountain division where you stay off the radar. So you could have ghost and scavenger and a suppressor on your class, on the same class, which I think would be a better way to do this, and they might do this. I don't know if it's got much traction yet, but I think that would be a good way to do it. I understand they're trying to like put more emphasis on gunplay, but they're also in doing so removing customization options, which at the end of the day brings it down to bare bones, and whoever wins the gunfight will win it fair and square. However, I don't like it very much because I don't like being in the radar, but it's not that big a deal. But I think it would be a better way to do the division system. It would make sense, because it wouldn't be game breaking, it wouldn't break the division system, but it would also just kind of make it a bit more enjoyable. So they might do it, I don't know. But basically I think divisions might need slight tweaks. If it isn't that, it might need just some slight tweaks in other places. I don't really know. Divisions are okay, but I'm not a big fan of them. I'd rather pick 10. Another point, which is something that I was kind of ignorant towards, is the game takes getting used to. I didn't think I would have that much trouble playing boots underground after jetpacks, which in fairness, like I didn't feel like I was being restricted by not having the jetpack. Like I felt like it was normal having no jetpack and that sort of thing, so it wasn't that. I think I was just playing the game way too aggressive at the start. I was like running around the place, especially with like that sprint out time being so long. I think I was just at a disadvantage by sprinting around the place. So, you know, over the course of last night I started getting a lot better at the game and like coming consistently top now. So I think I have got the hang of the game, which might be a bit too late considering the game's gonna literally go away in a few hours, or in like less than a day. But the game does take getting used to. If you don't enjoy the game currently, like you're just not doing well and that sort of thing, I do recommend just keeping on playing it. Obviously if you're not enjoying it at all, just go play a different game, but if you're into Call of Duty and you are just doing badly at the game and that's why you're not having fun or whatever, just keep playing it. Play a bit slower, don't camp, but also don't run about the place. The way to play this game really seems to be just flanking or slowly pushing up, using head glitches and that sort of thing. So yeah, it plays differently definitely because it puts me ground, and I think I just had to get used to that in order to start doing well. So that was more in me than the game. However, I think that sprint out time being fixed did help a lot. But in conclusion, overall I think the game is decent in some aspects. I think it's good. So another thing which I meant to say was War is amazing. Like, that's one thing I cannot flaw in this game. War is actually like the best game that I've ever played. It's so good. Like, there's only one map in the beta, but it is so good. Like, it's so cool the way you've got the hard point at the beginning, then you've got to like actually throw smokes and use sniper rifles and the bridge section, then you have to like use grenades and try to like flank the enemy and blow up walls and stuff in the bomb defusal and bomb planting area, and then it's like safeguard with the tank or the payload stored in your Overwatch. I think that's really cool the way they did that, and I really hope there's a lot more War maps. But I really like War. It's a really good game mode. Personally, like, War's amazing. Like, if we just looked at War as like the beta, I would think this is like such a good game. However, if we're focusing on purely the traditional Call of Duty multiplayer, which is like domination, TDM, kill confirmed, that sort of thing, the actual playlists that have always been in Call of Duty, rather than War, which is kind of like a new section of multiplayer, I think that the game isn't the best Call of Duty we've had. It's got a lot of problems, which I'm sure they can fix for the beta, or sorry, for the full game coming out, and that's why they did a beta after all. I think it is better than the Infinite Warfare beta. I can't remember the Black Ops 3 beta that well. However, I think the Black Ops 3 beta might have been more enjoyable. I'm not sure though. But I think it's better than Infinite Warfare beta. Do I think it's better than Infinite Warfare? No, because I absolutely love Infinite Warfare. And it is a beta, I'm not going to go ahead and say this beta is better than the full game. But I think the beta is better than Infinite Warfare's beta, because Infinite Warfare's beta was a disaster, I think. But, or at least I found it to be a disaster, because I just couldn't do well. Which is probably the problem that I have with this game as well, but I didn't even have fun playing it. Whereas, at least with this game, when I was doing badly, I didn't feel like I was doing that badly, and I was actually having kind of fun doing it, so I think the game is good. I don't think it's amazing, I don't think it's bad. I don't think if you were not a Call of Duty player and, if you were going into the beta from the mindset of I don't play Call of Duty but this game looks cool, I don't think you'd want to buy the game after playing it, because I just don't think there's anything in the game that would make you want to buy it if you didn't know how to play Call of Duty. But I'm sure it'll bring back some like players and player base. Do I think it lives up to the hype? No. I don't think anything can live up to that hype. The game was hyped up so much by mainly YouTubers, actually, I suppose. I think YouTubers kind of just started like jumping on the hype tree, and that kind of pushed everyone like in the community and that sort of thing to just get super hyped about the game. I don't think it lives up to the hype. I think I've seen a lot of like only positive reviews about the game, which I have bad things to say about Infinite Warfare, and I think that's like an amazing game. So like I think blindly saying the game's the best Call of Duty ever is something you shouldn't do, because every game has a flaw. And I feel like a lot of the reviews that solely say good things about the game are people just trying to make themselves believe the game's amazing. But the game isn't bad by any means, but I don't think it lives up to the hype. It does need changes made to it. I don't think it'll ever live up to the hype, because it can't. Like, it's actually impossible to live up to the hype that this game had behind it. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about the game now. I pumped way too many hours into this game. I literally no-lifed it this weekend. I'm not ashamed of it, and I can now look more forward to November, I suppose, because I wasn't really looking forward to the game. Now I can kind of say I could play this for a year reluctantly, but if they fix the game, you know, if they make it better for the full game's launch, which they, you know, Infinity will pull it off in 2 weeks. So, you know, if they make it better, I'll play it for a year and I'll enjoy it. So that's about it. This went on for way too long. I think I rambled. If you're still here, well done to you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would hope you enjoyed the video if you got this far through it, but if you did, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Recon airborne.